Hello everyone. So today we will talk about four different circuits: voltage divider, current divider, circuit loading, and delta connection. So at the beginning we will talk about the voltage divider. As you are seeing, I'm going to use the following circuit. What am I going to do is I'm going to connect this circuit. So I have 1 kilo ohm, 2.2 kilo ohm, 4.7 kilo ohm. I will connect all of these in series, and I will connect a power supply that will feed that circuit by 10 volt, and I will measure V1 across 1 kilo, V2 across 2.2, V3 across 4.7 kilo. Pay your attention. I would like to measure this voltage by using that polarity, and this voltage by using that polarity, and this voltage by using that polarity. And after that, I will disconnect the power supply and I will measure the total resistance. So if you would like to do that, this is the port, the breadboard that we are going to use. Imagine that these three resistors, I would like to connect them in series. So I will connect this guy here like that, for example. And I will connect this guy to this point. So like what you are seeing, we have these two are connected in series because they are connected from here to the same spot, and this guy is connected also like that. So these three different resistors are connected in series. What is the next step? The next step is I will connect the power supply to this point and the power supply to this point. And for doing that, I'm connecting my power supply between these 2 points. And this guy is connected to the positive terminal to the power supply, and this guy is connected to the negative terminal to the power supply. If we try to do that to save our time, we have this circuit. So this is the first resistor, the second resistor, the third resistor. This is the same nodes between these two, and this node is common between these two. And I connected this guy to the negative terminal to the power supply, and I connected this node to the positive terminal to the power supply, and these two are representing the power supply because this positive is the same spot, this negative is the same spot. So I will connect my power supply between these 2 points. So this is my power supply like what I said in the previous class. So the positive will be connected to the positive, and then the negative will be connected to the negative. And this will be my circuit. So the voltage here connected between these 2 points, the current will go from these 2 terminals to feed my circuits, then we'll go to this resistor, then this, then go back to my power supply again. So what is the next step? The next step is to connect a voltmeter to measure the total voltage. This is the voltmeter that I showed you before, and I'm going to use 2 different multimeters, this guy and at the same time this guy, to save my time. I'm going to use this guy as an ammeter, and I'm going to use this guy as a voltmeter. So I will adjust this guy to measure DC volt, and I will connect the terminals between these 2 spots, and I will connect this guy to the power supply to see the voltage that I'm feeding my circuit by. So this is the power supply. It's connected in parallel because, this is the voltmeter. It's connected in parallel to measure the voltage across the power supply. This voltage is the same like the voltage between these 2 points, which is the same like the voltage between these 2 points. Now I will connect, turn it on, and now I'm measuring 10 volts, like what I said. What I would like to measure, I would like to measure V1, which is the voltage across this resistor, V2, the voltage across this resistor, V3, the voltage across this resistor. So I can disconnect this guy again. I don't need it right now. And for measuring the voltage V1, I will connect between these 2 points, And as you are seeing, the voltage V1 here is equal to 1.25, but you are seeing negative value because I'm using a wrong direction. So I will change the polarity. So I will connect positive here and negative here. Right now you are seeing the voltage is changed to be 12.257. Then I will connect the same across these two, but I will change the polarity because of negative positive. Now you are measuring negative 2.772. This is V2. Then for V3, I would like to measure the voltage across this guy. It is connected in parallel. As you are seeing, the voltage is equal to almost 5.97. What is the next step? I know the voltage right now. The total voltage here is equal to 10. I measured V1, I measured V2, I measured V3. What else I need? I need to measure the total current here. So for measuring the total currents, what do I need? This is my power supply. I would like to connect between these 2 points a meter. I would like to measure the current here in this guy. So I will disconnect this guy and I will put an ammeter here. So I will turn it off and then I will disconnect this guy and I will connect between these 2 points ammeter, or I can disconnect this guy and put ammeter here, whichever is more easier for you, but pay in your attention that the direction of the current will be changed. So maybe you can measure positive if you connect it between these two terminals. You will measure negative if you connect it between these two terminals. So this is my ammeter. I will connect it in series here. So I will put it here and put it here. So this is my ammeter. The current is going from this guy to the ammeter, then go back from the ammeter to the circuit. Now I'm measuring the total current as if I cut this guy and I put a meter in this circuit like that. Then I will turn it on. Here the current is negative 1.27. Why? Because of that connection. You are connecting the multimeter in the wrong direction. If you would like to see this guy positive, what you have to do is, instead of using these two terminals, you have to use these two terminals. I can do that. I can return this back to show you that. And this is my ammeter. I will connect it between these 2 points. And then measure the current. Or if I measure the current here and I found that the current is negative, I can switch between these two. Let us do that. Here the current is negative, so I can switch between these two. So I will disconnect this and I will connect this guy to this guy, and I will connect this guy here. See, the current is changed to be positive because of different polarity for your measuring. So if you are using this in that direction, you are measuring positive. If you switch it between this guy and this guy, you are going to measure negative. This is the first part for our lab, which is voltage divider. We have already measured the voltage, the total current, V1, V2, V3. Last thing, I would like to measure the total resistor. So for measuring the total resistor, what should I do? I will disconnect my circuit. I don't need my circuit anymore right now. And I will disconnect the power supply and I will measure the resistor value between these 2 points. So I will adjust my multimeter to measure ohm, and then I will connect this guy to measure the resistance value between these 2 points. the value of the resistance is almost 7.8 kilo, which is almost similar to the summation of all of those, because they are connected in series. Then the next one that I would like to talk about, which is current divider. For the current divider, I need to connect 3 resistors in parallel, 1 kilo, 2.2 kilo, 4.7. And then I would like to measure the total current here if the supply voltage is 7 volts. And I would like to measure I1 in the first branch, I2, I3. And at the same time, I would like to disconnect this guy, which is the power supply, and measure the total resistance. This is the second circuit. And for connecting this circuit, I'll show you how to connect it in parallel. So I will connect the first one, like here, for example. This is the first one. And I will connect the second one here, for example, like that. And the third one like that. What is the next step? The next step is to connect this point to this point and this point to this point. Connect this point to this point and this point to this point. So to do that, I will bring some wires. So I will connect this guy to this guy. So now I connected these 2 points, then I will connect this point to that point. So all of these are the same. And also I will connect this guy to this guy and this guy to this guy. Now these are the same point and these are the same points, so these 3 resistors are connected between these 2 nodes. Then my power supply will feed these 2 resistors by using these 2, so I will connect this node to the power supply positive and this node to the power supply negative. And this is what I did here. So these are 3 resistors. These are the same nodes and these are the same top nodes. And then I connected this node to the positive terminal here, and I connected this node to the negative terminal for the power supply. And this is my power supply. Then I'll feed by 6 volts. So the power supply here will be 6 volts. This will be my power supply. So I'll feed positive to positive and negative to negative. So now this is my power supply. I will adjust it to 6 volts. So I will use the voltmeter to adjust the power supply for 6 volts. So turn it on, and then I will reduce the value of the voltage. Oh, I'm connecting in wrong direction, so I will switch positive to positive and negative to negative. So I will change the value till I reach 6. This guy is 6 volt. So I will disconnect my voltmeter. I don't need it anymore right now. What I need to measure the total current here. So for measuring the total current, you would like to measure the current that will go through this guy. So I will cut this guy, and I will connect between these 2 my ammeter. So this is my ammeter. I will connect the ammeter between this terminal and between this terminal also. This is the current that you are measuring, as you are seeing 9.87 milliampere. This is the total current. Now, the next step is I will return this guy back. And then I would like to measure which current. Here, I would like to measure the current here in this guy. I would like to measure the current in this guy. I would like to measure the current in this guy. So I will disconnect this or cut this, cut this, cut this, and put a meter, a meter, a meter. So here, what you would like to do, you would like to cut this guy. This is the first resistor. Open its branch. And then what you need, you would like to connect this between this branch and between this node. So if you still remember, this is the location for this resistor. So what I did, I disconnected this. This is the same. As if I cut this guy into two parts. So I will connect my ammeter here. This guy is measuring the current. And I will turn on the power supply after. So this guy is measuring almost like very small current. So I will adjust it because of the accuracy is not good. It is 5.97. So the current here is 5.97 milliampere. This is the current in case of what? In case of the first resistor. I will return this back again. And then I will open this. And I will connect this guy, again like what I did before. I will connect my ammeter. Again. So I will connect it between this point and this point. So I'm measuring 2.73 for the current for the current in the second resistor, which is I2 in this circuit, which is the current in 2.2 kilo ohm. Then I will return this back. I don't need it anymore right now. I will return the resistor back, and I will repeat the same story. Open this guy and put my ammeter here between this point and this guy. Again, the last current is 1.27 milliampere. This is an I3. This is the second experiment that we are talking about for today. And last thing for this guy is he asked me to disconnect the power supply and measure the total resistance between these 2 points. So I will turn off the power supply and I will disconnect it. And I will measure the total resistance between these 2 points. So I will use this guy to measure the resistance. I will adjust it to measure ohm. And I will connect this guy here. And I will connect this guy to this guy. Almost 0.595 kilo ohm. This is the last part for this experiment. The last experiment is I'm going to connect 2 different resistors in series, and this is for circuit loading. And then I will connect a power supply which is 10 volts. Then I will measure V1. Then I will connect in parallel to 1 kilo, 10 kilo ohm and measure V1 again. Then I will disconnect 10 kilo ohm and connect 4.7 kilo ohm and measure V1 again. As you are changing the value of the resistor, the loading condition will be changed, the current will be changed. So here, these 2 resistors are connected in parallel, and this guy is connected to the power supply, and this guy is connected to this power supply also. They are connected in series, these 2, like what you are seeing. If you would like to connect them, what you have to do, I mean series, not parallel. This guy is connected to this guy, and I will connect this guy to this guy. They are connected in series. These 2 are connected in series, not parallel. By mistake, I said parallel. So I will connect the power supply between these 2 points. That's why what I did, I connected this guy to the power supply and this guy to the power supply, and this will be my power supply. So this is the power supply that I have. I will connect it between the 2 points. This is the negative, and this guy is the positive. Now, what I would like to measure, I would like to measure V1, which is the voltage between these 2 points. So I will use my multimeter, which is this guy, for measuring the voltage. So I will connect this guy to measure the voltage across the second resistor, which is this one here. I'm expecting if the voltage is 10, so the voltage across each one should be, but I have to adjust this to measure DC. Each voltage will be equal to 5. So I connected it in parallel. I don't need to disconnect the circuit, so I will turn on my power supply. And before doing that, I have to adjust the value of the power supply to be 10 first. So let me check if the value of the power supply is 10 or not. I need to adjust the power supply value here to be 10. Now I am measuring almost 10 volts. Then I need to measure the voltage across V1 and the voltage across V2. I will connect it in parallel, like what you are seeing. As you are seeing, it is almost 4.999 volts. The next step is to insert a resistor which is 10 kilo in parallel, and this is what I'm going to do right now. I will insert this resistor in parallel here. So I will insert this guy in parallel here. Some of you will ask, using the power supply while I'm connecting because the voltage is very small, but don't do that. But I'm doing that to save my time. So I will connect this guy and then measure the voltage again. As you are seeing, the voltage is changed to be 4.76 in case of 10 kilo ohm. Then I will disconnect this guy and I will connect another resistor which is 4.7 kilo in parallel again. And again, measure the voltage, it is 4.5. This is what is needed for this circuit. Last one, which is delta connection. I would like you to connect these resistors in delta and measure the total voltage and measure the current here and divide V over I to find the total resistance and prove that in your solution. So this is the circuit that we are going to use for delta. So what we have here, we connected this guy and this guy, like those two, to the same node here. And then we connected this resistor between this node and this node, which is this one. And then I connected this and this, which are those. And then I connected this guy, which is 1 kilo ohm. Then the supply is from 1 kilo ohm from the power supply to 1 kilo ohm and to this node. And this is what I did here. I connected this node to the negative terminal and I connected this node to the positive terminal. What is needed? I would like to connect voltage which is 10 between these 2 points. So I will connect 10 volts. This is my power supply. This is the positive and this is the negative. And what else I need? I would like to measure the current here, where I would like to measure the current in this guy. So I will cut this guy and I will connect between this node and this point. I will connect ammeter. So I will disconnect this guy and bring my ammeter. This is my ammeter. And what I need a wire. So I will bring that wire and I need those. So I will connect those here to help me holding this wire. So I will connect this wire here. And these two terminals, I would like to connect them here by disconnecting this guy. So disconnect this guy, and then connect this guy here and this guy here. Before doing that, these two were the same point. And then I will turn on and measure the current. Actually, I can change the direction of the current by switching between this guy and this guy. So I will switch, put this here instead, and put this guy here. And as you are seeing, the current is 2.92 and the voltage is 10 volts. So 2.92, and the voltage, if I try to measure the voltage here, this is the voltage, and I adjusted it before. As you are seeing, the voltage is almost 10 and the current is 2.92 milliampere. This is the end of today's lab, and I'll see you next week for one more lab. Thank you so much, and have a good day.